thought they weren't going to do that.
I really,
I thought Jim Furyk said if he picked him as a pick, he wasn't going to put him. He wasn't going to be a captain also.
I love America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. First item on the agenda is set the town meeting date for the transfer station appropriation. I'd like to suggest September the 20th at the next Board of Selectmen meeting.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
I move to approve setting the town meeting date for the transfer station appropriation for Thursday, September 20th at 6 p.m.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll second that for purpose of discussion. Would we want to move the meeting location then to the conference room downstairs instead of here?
Absolutely.
So
To the auditorium.
Okay.
Yep.
Our audio will be all set by then.
Excellent. So we'll
Tristan's
just
doing it tomorrow.
And then we'll just do our Board of Selectmen meeting following that
Yeah.
public hearing.
Sounds good.
Okay. Any additional discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Recreational staffing. Chris, you're up.
Thank you.
I gave them. You have it in your
Perfect.
packet.
Yeah.
So this is a letter to the Board of Selectmen of the Recreation Department seeking approval for a part-time hire, 15 hours per week for a communications coordinator. This position we see having a presence in increasing our scope, our visibility, our outreach, our impact, interactiveness within the community. One of the objective points of information that we received, data points that we received from our community interest survey, was about communication challenges within the community. So we see this person being a specialist who can help us diversify the mechanisms by which we're communicating with the community, change the software that we're using, integrate to a greater level social media. We have ideas with respect to photography and videography, with Wicked Good News. There's a number of opportunities kind of at our disposal right now, but we need a specialist who can solely focus on getting the word out about recreational programming, activities, and create that kind of community member experience through the communication channels. So we're respectfully requesting or seeking approval for the hire of Megan Krementowski, whose professional experience, whose past history, she is a perfect fit for what we're looking for. She has the availability to work remotely, which we largely see this position being a remote position. Again, 15 hours per week, and the proposed funding source would be the Rec Self-Support Fund.
Okay.
And that's 52 weeks.
That would be 52
year-round.
Can I suggest, once we have the discussion, that we give her a 90-day fast start program in terms of some objectives?
Absolutely.
What you want to see.
What was the rate of pay also?
$15 per hour. I have a job description if anyone would like.
So just for the sake of discussion, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the request of the rec department for the hiring of a part-time communications coordinator.
Second.
So a couple of questions that I had, Chris. One of the things that we've heard through the transfer station issues, through some other issues in town, is that as much as we try, our communications are not up what the community expects. Is this a role that's, and maybe this is to the board more than Chris, is this a role that's broader than just the rec department? And I guess my question goes to, if it's 52 weeks, we're looking at 750 hours a year. Is there that much communication from the rec department that would consume 750 hours, even with photography and updates? Or should we as a board consider that as a broader role for the entire community? So I just wanted to know from your perspective, are you going to be able to fill 750 hours a year? Is it?
I think we absolutely will. With the number of programs, with the quantity of participants that we have right now, and how we're looking to diversify with the different mechanisms and mediums. So we're looking to integrate social media, bulk email campaigns, newsletters, press releases through the JI, through the Hartford Current, customer satisfaction kind of surveys we're looking to integrate into all of our programming, paired with the potential for that on-site videography, photography on the weekends, in the evenings. Conceptually, as I see this program existing, I think the capacity would exist within the rec department to fulfill all of those hours. We're going to learn as we go, but as I envision it, I think so. Would be the short answer.
It may be a lesson, it may be a training ground or a lesson for us, though, because I think we need to have a communication specialist. When you think about things like Summers Comes Together and getting people to come out to hear about opioid addiction or Narcan use or whatever, that's a great place for it. And also for us to communicate out things that are going on within our departments. And I think doing Wicked Good News is going to be a great start. So maybe we start with that, and if it's working well, we see how successful it might be.
Yeah, but I mean, even like the process we went through of acquiring the bus for the seniors that'll be delivered later this fall. The other good things that we've done as a community, chasing the grant for the new ambulance, all those things should be communicated more than just by the video feed and in these meeting minutes. And
Of course.
And I think Tim's asking you whether you can carve out some time to leverage her on this side of the fence a little bit.
I think
so
the
that we can
objective here,
transition.
I think the objective here was to hire this communication coordinator, but also to tap into her expertise if she has additional time, based upon some of the comments you're making,
That's
Tim and
true.
Kathy.
And then, do we have a policy of posting positions when they become open? I appreciate that we've got a candidate already in line, but do we need to post this?
We already did.
It's already
Oh,
We
it's
already
already
interviewed her.
Yep.
And
But was it posted for applicants?
yes, it was. Yes, we have to do that legally.
Well, how did it get posted before we approved it?
You're proving
Oh,
it.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
we did
approving the
approve
hire.
it. Maybe
No, you approved the job description.
We
maybe.
did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
we did.
you
And
didn't.
now it's the
Now
hire.
we're recommending. We posted the job.
Okay, so the
So
job's
now
been
we've
posted.
interviewed for the position. Now we're recommending.
We've got funding, we've
Make it.
got the posting, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all done. It took about a month.
But for Chris's position, I think he has to go with the 15 hours to see how it works.
And it might be 10 to 15 hours to begin, just
could be.
based on what you're just.
And if you
getting to
can't
know each
find
other,
enough
too.
at that point and there's something critical out on this side, that's another way to look at it.
And, given our communication outreach right now, it's not 100% content, recreation-related content. Sometimes various different folks in town will ask if we can use our outreach to share messages on a litany of different things that could be outside of the scope of our department.
That's where my yes fades a little. It's that I think it's a broader role for the town. And if you think about how, it's money on another staff position, which we always hate to do because it never goes away. Once you add staff, you've got payroll. Once you have payroll never goes away, and we have that ongoing impact to the town budget. And with the success of the rec program being able to fund some of the things they're doing, I'm grateful that you're able to raise those funds, put it back into programs that parents and kids can see. This, I see it as an administrative role, that if we need to do communications, then perhaps that money finds its way to the general fund. General fund comes out of our normal payroll budget, and we have a town position for communications. I'm reticent to think that a single department needs a communications specialist and their own website and their own presence online and in the paper when it really should be community presence. That's where I'm wavering off of. It's a great recommendation. I just think it needs to be broader in scope and needs to funnel its way through everything we're
I
doing
agree,
for the community.
and I think it will develop into that.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to be designed to do that.
Yeah.
And that's my reservation.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should start here with Chris and see how it goes.
Okay.
And I'm willing to stay with the motion on the floor, but from time to time, if Chris sees its experience is worthwhile, we're going into budget season, we could figure out how to work
And
with
say with it
your
coming
department.
with February coming right around the corner for budget, by then we got a few months under the belt. If they have the time and we have the need, I think it would be definitely something we can
He'll
work
know.
into
I
the
think-
budget.
I think you need to set milestone dates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to happen.
I think you're right.
Without touching.
Set milestone dates.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'd like to get a
So
report
make that
from Chris
approval
like every 3
contingent
months,
on-
how things are going, because you'll know
Right.
how well and how important it is to utilize, and give us examples of what's happening, and that would help us for the future plan.
So do you want to modify the motion somehow to
I
capture
would-
that? Because I don't want to lose track of that theory, because
Okay.
I have a hard time supporting it for a myopic scope of one department. I want to make sure that
Yeah.
we consider broadening that.
With, I modify that motion to include a set of milestones, every 3 months, a report coming in from Chris relative to what the role has become, what's happening with the role, or what's going on, let's say, and if the hours are appropriate.
And you can get that as a rotating
Good.
item on the agenda.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I'll go ahead and approve that revision to my motion, or
Thank
second
you.
that revision to my motion.
Whatever that means.
Whatever I have to do to pass it.
Well, yeah, no, I just want to make sure we do it well. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
I
you
think
know, I
so
don't want it
too.
to happen in a vacuum. It's a really, really.
definitely needed,
It's a
yeah.
great presentation, great proposal, great need. I just think there's broader scope than
Yeah,
one department.
We
I
could
would
all
agree.
use
It's
it.
it's
agree.
his vision helping the town move forward. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, I have to share your opinion about that, because as we've expanded our transparency initiative, we're finding that we're have additional requirements in terms of how we communicate with the public rather. So Chris is the first person that needed this, and maybe this thing expands to the point where it becomes
Yeah, I mean,
town-wide.
all the hard work that was done on the bonding initiative, and then you look on Facebook and you see people think that we weren't public with the bonding requirements. I mean, there's nothing in my mind that could be more public than how that bonding initiative went through, so,
Yeah.
clearly we missed the boat somewhere, and figure out how to fix it, so, all right.
Well, the point is, if you have social media, you have print advertising, you have
Which is good
websites, you
news.
have Facebook, and people don't access those. I don't know what else we can do.
But this is a good attempt. This is trying to do
Yeah.
something different. I think
Yeah.
it's a great
I
idea.
do too. I think it's a
Are we
great
going to vote on
idea.
it now?
Yes.
Are you calling for a vote now?
I am.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
And thank you, Chris. Well done.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris, you have
Scoreboard? Yes.
Oh, yeah, he has one more thing.
We have a request from Summers Little League for an installation of a scoreboard at Field Road Park on a new baseball field. Well,
She
well,
gave us a packet, too.
okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. And
Yeah,
my
we
letter.
have
Some days I'm efficient, some days not.
Then I'm gonna steal one.
I had all this stuff before lunch today. It was fantastic. I was able to get all my notes together. Bad for you guys, but good for me.
So the proposed scoreboard, I want to say it's the only baseball/softball field at the park right now that doesn't have a scoreboard. The funding, the construction, the concrete, everything is being funded completely by Summers Little League. Myself and Todd have kind of been in from the ground level, having conversations about how we get this project going. We proposed the project to the Rec Commission. The Rec Commission was unanimous in their recommendation to approve this project. So I think it will positively impact baseball players for years.
They did it down here too, didn't they?
Mhm.
It becomes property of the town once it's installed.
Right.
Yes.
And since it's on
They
town
know that
property,
from
they need
here,
our
because they
approval.
put that in here first.
once it goes in, we own it.
I move to approve the request letter from Summers Little League to the Town of Summers Recreation for permission to install a scoreboard on field number 5.
Second.
Discussion?
You made an interesting comment. Once it's installed, we own it. The town owns it.
Yes,
Yes.
that's always the way
Correct.
it's been.
All right, because I know the Board of Ed has a process of accepting a gift officially,
Yeah.
so if it's recorded.
It
Ready?
becomes,
Ready
it,
for
I
that?
think it goes way back some, even before I was even a selectman, that came into play. It might have started when they opened that field for the first time, Field Road recreation area. And we've never had a problem, like summer soccer wanted to do the lights, it
Yep,
was
I
the
remember
same
that, yeah.
thing, so it's a common thing.
And they maintain it also?
Yes.
Yes.
And we don't need to notify CIRMA or anything that we've got another structure on town property or anything.
I could, but I mean,
It's a
I don't
sign
think-
post.
if
Yeah, I don't
anything
think
we
it's
put
big.
up like that, that's can be
It's not
it's
really
gonna be moved.
material value.
No.
No, it'll be a
Oh.
permanent
Okay.
structure in the
Oh.
ground.
Yeah.
Can find out.
If somebody runs into it, I just want to make sure we're insured.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
That's it.
Or if,
Yeah.
or if
That's
you
it.
know,
I mean, yeah,
God
it's not-
forbid,
It's
some
a-
crazy weather thing happens and tears it up.
Yeah.
You know, who replaces it? Does our insurance
Yeah.
replace it? And
So
so
just-
forth.
But-
Anything we
but, yeah.
add like that, or even a vehicle, automatically goes on to our pools.
All right.
Tim, you,
We're gonna vote on it?
oh, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
passes. I apologize.
That's all right. That's why we keep Kathy around.
Tim, you have an update for us on the rephasing of the signal?
I did. I had a couple of items to add to the agenda, and they are. Bear with me a second.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks,
good evening.
Thanks, Chris.
So much.
Thank you,
Just
Chris,
leave it on
very
my
much.
desk in the document.
Will do. Discussion of an update on the construction project intersection 190 and 83.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got.
Okay. Want to read your
Don't you
letter?
have anything?
I have no additional items. You want to read your letter regarding that?
I don't have a letter. I did send an email off to DOT.
I'll
and-
read it.
Well, we don't need to read it. I mean, I basically asked them what's the update, and I got an autoresponder back that our primary contact was out, so there was a second guy there that actually responded. His name is Patrick something. Hang on a second. I'll get you his name if we need it. But at any rate, the DOT currently is working in Windsor. A couple of weeks they're going to be working in Windsor lots, and then they'll come to Summers, the inspection crew. So our September 17th date is backed up a few weeks. I said, so we talking early October? He said, I plan on mid-October. I said, all right. So he said he'll keep in touch with me, and I'm welcome to call whenever I want, just to keep sure that we're on track. So we just want to make sure the town is aware through website, social media, signposts that we got that we're going to be tearing up the major intersection in town. And he kind of laughed. He said, yeah, that's kind of a busy intersection for your
Oh,
community.
God,
I said, yes,
yeah.
yes, it
That's
is.
why we need to warn them.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did ask if the Henny Penny project was moving forward. I said that's a private development that I really don't have any answer on. It has nothing to do with town. He says, well, should we wait until you get an answer on that before we start? I said, absolutely not.
No.
I'll get started on working on the lights on 90 and 190 and 83.
So mid-September?
They should
Can I
have
ask a
no-
question?
Oh,
at this
mid-October,
point.
I'm so
Yep.
sorry.
It was my understanding that in Enfield, when they were changing the lights, that they made them longer lights because you only get traffic going like in one direction.
Yeah, their
So-
plans are all public. If you go to the DOT website and look up our project number, and I'll forward it to you, Kim, if you need the
Okay.
number, but
I can
it's
look it
actually in
up.
that email number.
It's 0171
I have the email.
0394.
Yeah, so their plans are all in there, and it's going to require new sidewalks, new concrete things under the ground, new wiring, new lights, new signals, and it's all timed. So 190 will be through traffic with green lights on both sides. There will be one left turn arrow that's on once in a while. Then I think 83 north goes green while 83 south is red, and then 83 south goes green while 83 north is red. So it should.
Okay.
They did the study, and they have it timed, so they know what they're going to do, but it doesn't, it's going to require a lot of tearing up of sidewalks and light poles and.
The nice part about that is during Storm Alfred, the center of town was out. You couldn't use the mobile station to get I think the grocery store was even closed for a while because of the above lines. And we always asked if we could get it later, and here we are.
I
But that
know.
was how many years ago
I know.
now?
Any idea on how long the project's going to take? Because
Well,
you're
it's funny,
talking
they're gonna-
mid-October starting.
Yeah, so it's
mid-November snow starting.
It was supposed to start in the spring and be wrapped up by April of 2019.
Yeah.
So now they said it's going to start later, but it's still going to wrap up by April of 2019.
Yeah.
So let's go with that. That's the information we have.
So
The
they most
gentleman's
likely
name,
won't
by the
dig
way.
it up in October then because they
They
can't
were
pay.
supposed to start. They're supposed to start in April.
Right.
Now
So,
it's
but I
back
think
up.
there's a lot of pre-work that they
Yeah.
can do until the snow
Yeah.
flies, and then of course we won't be able to plow the intersection, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
The gentleman's name at DOT is Patrick, and the last name is spelled Onwuazor. Really, really nice guy. Very, very helpful. He told me he'd call me back in about an hour and a half, and it was like 1 hour and 30 minutes later that he called back. Very responsive, had all the information we needed. So,
Okay, thank
yep.
you.
So it's good information to get
It
to
is
the
good
DOT, and we'll
information.
keep you posted.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Okay.
Any other ads?
No additional items. Kathy.
Can't think of any right now.
Approval of minutes.
So
Oh,
I had one
got
grammatical
those.
correction on the ones that I wrote, so I can criticize myself. It's on the second page, after all those charter rev notes. So they made a motion to move the recommendations, blah, 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 move to the town clerk for prepare for the November 6th ballot, should say for preparation for the November 6th ballot. Is the wrong context of the word.
You did a nice job with all these motions we made
I
that
know,
night.
my God.
You really
I'm
did.
on fire, man.
You were.
The keyboard was smoking.
I bet.
The nice thing was being able to go back and watch the tape
Watch
to
the
make sure I
video.
got it right.
Yeah.
I do.
I did that with
Yeah.
the last Board of Finance meeting. I went through, watched the video just to make sure that I got everything
I
right.
hope everybody's happy with the videos, I think.
I think it's been great.
Yeah.
And I think when I looked, 17 people had viewed that particular meeting,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I was probably 2 of those people, but
Yeah.
still.
One of them
I
was
think
Deanna.
having it accessible is ideal, so.
The staff love it, because they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I get to watch the, because their schedules are so different,
That's-
especially like
yeah.
Deanna.
That's pretty sad. We have 17 people at our live streaming meeting.
Two
Well,
of them are
I think
10.
it'll increase
Two.
over time. I really do think it'll increase over time.
It's there, if
Yeah.
they want it, it's there. But it
Yeah.
was helpful for me to get the minutes done. But anyway,
Any
with
additional changes on the other meetings?
everything else looked fine to me.
So, are we gonna move to approve these minutes? I will do so.
Oh, okay.
I move to approve the minutes for Thursday, August 9th,
And with corrections for? the
and the
23rd.
the corrected minutes as just corrected for August 23rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of payments.
I'll make a motion to approve payments in the amount of $113,015.63, including $2,913.27 in tax refunds.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy your reading
Send it-
material?
Oh my gosh,
I
I
did,
really have to
and my
read it.
$11.13 that I got for free.
You got refunded?
I
Is
don't
that
even
what
know
you
why.
said?
I did. It's $11, and Lisa's like, "Oh, what do we do with that?"
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think we go down to the plaza and have lunch.
That's funny.
I like getting ahead and reading through it. I think it's good.
Oh, can I just do this?
No, it's nice to have all that stuff in the attachments from Chris and everything. It's
Right.
nice to have before we have the meeting.
Because we come to the meeting prepared because everything is
Yeah.
there.
You'll get that letter prepared then.
That's yours.
Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Before you guys close, can I say something?
We probably have to have officially close the meeting and then go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and make a motion to
All right.
adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's closed?
It is. Yep.
My name's Bob Sosha, I'm a resident of the town of Summers. And I just have an invoice here that I'm not sure where it should have gone, but I'm bringing it to you guys. It's for items that were removed from my father's headstone at the cemetery in Battle Street.
Oh.
Am I in the right place?